The whispering classroom. It was a cold, rainy evening when Jake, Lisa, and Tom decided to stay late after school to finish their group project. The school building, usually filled with the noise of students and teachers, had grown eerily silent. The flickering fluorescent lights cast long shadows in the empty hallways, and the sound of the rain tapping against the windows echoed throughout the deserted building. They gathered in their usual classroom on the second floor, an old room with creaky wooden floors and ancient, dust-covered shelves. The teacher had warned them not to stay too late, as strange things were said to happen in the school after dark. But being skeptical teenagers, they shrugged it off as just another ghost story. As they worked on their project, Jake noticed something odd. From the corner of his eye, he saw one of the desks at the back of the room shift slightly. He blinked and looked again, but the desk remained still. "Did you guys see that?" Jake asked, his voice a little shaky. "See what?" Lisa responded, not looking up from her laptop. "That desk. I thought it moved." Tom chuckled. "You're just imagining things. This place can mess with your head if you stay too long." Jake wasn't convinced, but he tried to shake off the uneasy feeling creeping up his spine. Suddenly, the lights flickered again, and a faint whisper filled the room. It was soft at first, barely noticeable, but it grew louder with each second. The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, like it was floating through the air. Lisa froze, her fingers hovering above the keyboard. "Did you hear that?" Jake and Tom nodded, their faces pale. The whispering grew more intense, forming words they could barely make out. "Leave. Now. Before it's too late." A cold draft swept through the room, even though the windows were tightly shut. The temperature dropped, and the whispering became more frantic. "Who's there?" Jake shouted, his voice echoing through the empty classroom. No response, just the maddening sound of whispers swirling around them. Lisa stood up, trembling. "We should go. This isn't right." Before they could gather their things, the classroom door slammed shut with a deafening bang. The lights flickered wildly, plunging the room into moments of complete darkness. In one brief flash of light, they saw something that made their blood run cold. In the corner of the room, standing by the old chalkboard, was a figure, a tall, shadowy silhouette with glowing, hollow eyes, its mouth twisted into a grotesque smile as it stared at them. Tom rushed to the door, yanking on the handle, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers became screams, echoing in their ears. "Let us out," Lisa cried, banging on the door. The figure in the corner began to move, slowly stepping toward them. Its footsteps made no sound, but the creaking of the wooden floor echoed louder with each step it took. Panicking, Jake grabbed a chair and smashed it against the window, but the glass wouldn't break. It was as if they were trapped in a nightmare that wouldn't end. Just as the shadowy figure was inches away, the lights went out completely. The room fell into total darkness, and all they could hear were their own terrified breaths and the relentless whispers surrounding them. Suddenly, the door swung open on its own, and the lights flickered back to life. The shadowy figure was gone. Without a second thought, they bolted out of the classroom, running down the hallway as fast as they could. They didn't stop until they were outside, gasping for air under the pouring rain. The school behind them loomed ominously, its dark windows watching them. From that day on, Jake, Lisa, and Tom never stayed late at school again, and they never spoke of what they saw in that whispering classroom. But the memory of the shadowy figure haunted their dreams, a constant reminder that some places are better left alone after darks.